Ritualistic crime. In this video, we will look at animal and human sacrifice being ritualistic crimes, but before we do, we must define the terms. From a sociological perspective, a ritual is a formalised mode of behaviour in which members of a group or community regularly engage. A ritual crime is a diverse phenomenon which is difficult to define and therefore there is no agreed definition. Dawn Perlmutter defines ritualistic crime as an act of violence characterised by psychological, physical and sexual actions combined with the need to repeat such acts. Law enforcement commonly refer to illegal ritual activities as occult crimes, but this is an inaccurate term. Occult crime refers to methods of developing hidden powers that is applicable to religions and practices which can be non-violent. Therefore, a move from the term occult crime to ritual crime is used as it encompasses their true nature, which is crimes that include ritual behaviours and can be violent and unrelated to religion. Human sacrifice is a transgressive act which has been attributed to ritual crime and has been practiced by various cultures and religions throughout history. Here we shall focus on the rituals of the Mayan culture, which existed during the pre-Columbian era from the Classic period to as late as the 17th century. In Mayan culture, blood was viewed as a potent source of nourishment for their deities, and sacrifice of a human life was the ultimate offering. Generally, only high-status prisoners of war were sacrificed. This was done through a variety of methods such as decapitation and murder by bow and arrow. Also, during times of famine and disease, sacrifices were thrown into sinkholes as an offering to the gods to fix their misfortunes. One sinkhole, known as the Well of Sacrifice, was explored and the remains of at least 42 individuals were found. Human sacrifice still occurs today for rituals. On October 1st, 1997, in Mississippi, Luke Woodham stabbed his mother to death. He then opened fire with a rifle at Pearl High School at the age of 16. He killed 2 of his classmates and injured 7 others.
James Kitchens doesn't go a day without thinking about Luke Woodham and the lives he took on October 1st, 1997.
And told me there'd been a bad shooting at Pearl High School. Of course, I went directly to the high school.
Kitchens was the district attorney in Rankin County at the time.
When I got there, is because the 2 young ladies that were killed were still there.
Lieutenant Butch Townsend of the Pearl Police Department still remembers the original call that went out over the scanner.
Reports of maybe firecrackers. Somebody had set off firecrackers or something like that at Pearl High School.
Townsend was headed to check it out when the calls got worse.
There was reports of numerous students down. It just got worse, each radio dispatch. The 2 things I'll remember about my initial assessment going in was the looks of sheer terror and horror on the kids' faces that were running away from the scene as we were running in. They were just looking at you like, please do something to stop this, please help us, help us.
16-year-old Luke Woodham entered the Commons area of Pearl High and fired off several shots.
A coach was screaming, and everybody was screaming to get out, and everybody was ducking. And the sound would never get out of my mind. Just like boom, 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 boom.
Woodham killed students Lydia Dew and Christina Menifee and shot 7 others. Kitchens prosecuted Woodham in June of 1998. The 16-year-old was sentenced to 3 life terms plus 140 years.
So that was a trying time in my life. That period of time that we dealt with those.
Information on the killings were released during the trial, and it was discovered Woodham committed the murders for a satanic group his peers started called the Cross. The ritual killings were committed for black magic, which is traditionally referred to as the use of magic for evil and selfish purposes. He committed the murders with the belief that this black magic would help him get his girlfriend back and help his group reach their goals. Before Woodham committed the murders, he brutally tortured and set fire to his dog Sparkle. In line with satanic animal abuse, this was done as an assimilation of power for the individual through the torture of another. Along with Satanism, animal abuse is present in many other religions and groups as an example of ritual crime. Serial killers also commit animal abuse, but are not connected to theology. For a serial killer, the murder of an animal was practiced which they later moved to humans with. Serial killers are seen as having a ritualistic aspect, but driven by personal mythologies rather than the mainstream occult belief system. One serial killer who committed ritual murder is also known as the Butcher of Plainfield, Ed Gein. He was responsible for killing 2 women and keeping their body parts or pieces of furniture. Along with this, in 1947 to 1952, he confessed to exhuming recently buried bodies of people who looked like his mother. He did this to create more furniture from their body parts. On November 16, 1957, the police found one of the ladies he murdered decapitated in his shed. Upon searching the rest of his house, authorities found many body parts made into household items. For example, a belt made from human nipples and a lampshade made from the skin of a human face.
But I hate to even think about it. She needs me. It's not as if she were a maniac, a raving thing. She just goes a little mad sometimes. We all go a little mad sometimes. Haven't you?
Ed Gein's transgressive acts have influenced 3 cinematic films: Psycho, as just shown before, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and The Silence of the Lambs. Here we have a serial killer committing ritual murder led by an individual's own beliefs, transgressing from the norms in society. Here today we have discussed the ritual crime of a historic culture, the Mayan culture, and contemporary ritualistic crime in Western societies. These are only a few examples of ritual crime, but many more occur on a day-to-day basis. Although it's hard to say how often crime can be attributed to ritualism, as due to ethical reasons, no empirical studies can be conducted.